so that they have like the correct associations. Before I do that though, I'm going to add the gem annotate to my gem file because I like having comments in the model files that show me the annotations. I actually forget how this works. Annotate gem. Rail, do I have to say rake annotate something something? Annotate models. Rails G annotate install. Annotate dash dash models, is that going to work? No. What is the error here? Oh, bundle exec annotate models. Cool. All right, so let's go set up all of our models. So we're going to go in app models, and we have several here. So we'll start in a video. So a video belongs to a description template. Go file. Oh no, my Rails Vim isn't working. Okay, description template has many videos, and a video, okay, let's see, presenter belongs to video, belongs to presenter, great. And then a video has many presenters and has many, video presenters, and then has many presenters through video presenters. Okay. And then a presenter belongs to, wait, no, sorry. A presenter has many video presenters and has many videos through video presenters. That hurt my brain a little bit. Video resource belongs to a video. A video has many video resources. And okay, so we should be able to like mess around with videos and presenters and such. And we've got our description template, and that's related. Okay, so what I think might make sense now is to, my first inclination is to make like a list view of all the videos, and then a detail view and some edit and show views where you can edit the videos. So we will do that next. All right, so in order to make some views, or for working with the controllers for these, I'm going to say Rails G controller, videos, and we're going to have index, we'll have show, we will have edit, and that's probably good. So that by passing index, show, and edit, that'll create the index, show, and edit templates for me. It'll also put stuff in routes, but I'm going to delete those like almost immediately. So resources, videos, and we'll go to the videos controller. Also at this point, there's no like authentication or anything because I haven't like bit off the part about having multiple users and teams and collaborators and such. This is really just kind of like a thing to manage my own personal videos initially, but theoretically you could add that stuff on later. So at videos is equal to video.all, and we'll just show that at video is equal to video.find params ID, and then edit will be this same thing. Okay, so if we were to fire this up now, whoops, okay. I have to set my local node env and then run webpacker install because my default local node env is, or my default node environment is version 10.16, which isn't supported by all the fancy new Rails webpacker stuff that's in 6.1. So I always have to like set the local version of node env when I fire this up. Okay. So we will make a list view where we can see all of the videos, and then we will make a show view, and then we will make an edit view. And that really won't be super interesting until we actually have videos. So we might want to make a seed file. So we can do, let's see if we can actually fire it up first. Okay, looks like that's working. Let's see, localhost 3000/videos. And it is loading. Cool. So we got a videos index here. All right. So in the DB directory, there's this seed.rb file where we can create seed data. So first thing we want to do is probably create a video, or I don't know, let's see, video is equal to video.find or create, no, let's just say video.create, sure, create bang. YouTube ID is seed, title is test video, tags is going to be like A, B, C. Chapter markers will be start. Okay. And then description template is going to be description, or we'll just say template. And then we'll create that first. Template is equal to description template. And what does that look like? Description template. It has a template. And we'll just say like test. Okay. And then what else do we have here? We have a presenter. So we'll say presenter is equal to presenter.create. And they have a name, Tony Stark. And they have a Twitter handle. It's probably Tony, or the real Tony Stark. Tony Stark. Let's see. LinkedIn might be something like I don't know. Role is like superhero. And that's it. Okay, so we've got our presenter. Actually, we probably need like two presenter. Let's see, Tony and I don't know, Steve. Minecraft Steve. Minecrafter. Okay, so our video presenters, they are going to have the video ID. So we're going to say, I think I can actually say like presenters is equal to Tony and Steve. I think that might work with Active Record video because it has many presenters. So that should, I think that should work, and it will create the two video presenter objects for us. I might need to pass like presenter underscore IDs and pass like Tony ID and Steve.id, but I think this might work. So we've got some stuff here. In practice, I would probably write some tests. Yeah, I should probably write some tests and then use like factory bot to generate these objects. But for now, this should do. So I can say rake db seed, and this should create those objects. We'll see if anything fails. Okay, no output. Let's Rails console to fire up the Rails console and see if the objects actually got made. Video.count. Cool. Video.last. Okay, so l.presenters.pluck Twitter handle. So just give me the Twitter handles. It looks like it's working. So all right, let's go build out some UI that'll show us a list of stuff. Okay, so video index. All right, so here I'm just going to say like videos. We'll remove that. And then here, I'm going to keep it super simple. It's just going to be a UL and with a list of videos. So at videos.each do video. and we'll just say li video.title, let's say link to. I can never remember the pattern for the link to method, if it's the name of the link or the thing you're linking to first. It drives me crazy. All right, so test video, we click on it, goes to show. That's super cool. Application, let's see. Let's go to routes and add a root route that just goes to the video index. Videos index, okay? So if we go to the root route that doesn't have /videos, we'll land here. And then in our application HTML, in our application HTML ERB, this is like our layout file. We'll just add a link that goes back to the root that just says like home or something. Keeping it real simple here. All right, so if we click on home, drops us back here. We click test video. We should now let's like add the show page so we can see the details of a video. So we'll go to video show.html.erb. And here at the top, rather than that, we'll put in the @video.title. Remember that we set this @video instance variable in the videos controller. And so just because we set the instance variable here, and now we're in show.html.erb here, we're able to access this video instance variable, and we're looking up the video using params ID. So we're taking this ID1 out of the path, and we're passing that into the active record model find method, which is going to search the database, find the video, deserialize or serialize it into a video object, and then store it in this instance variable, which we can then access from the show page over here. So that's kind of how that fits together. So let's recall what a video has on it again. So let's just say like @video.youtube ID and title, tags. We can clean this up later. Chapter markers and description template. And refresh the page, and we've got all of our stuff here. So that's pretty cool. And we can go back, we can go to test video. So we're able to like see stuff about the video. What I think would be a cool first step would be to embed this thing. So how does this work? We can say, share, embed, and copy this thing, and then come back over here. And at the very bottom, we'll just paste in that embed code, and then let's see here. How does this work? Okay, so this is going to be youtube.com/embed/ and I think this is the YouTube ID, @video.youtube ID. And then we've got this frame border 0, allow accelerometer. Really, accelerometer? How is that useful for watching YouTube? Okay, so let's see. So we're gonna come back to our page here, and we've got something embedded, right? I think it's failing to embed because seed is not a legit name, or not a legit ID for a video. So let's go back to our seed file, and let's change the ID of our video from seed to an actual YouTube video ID, and we'll say rake db drop db create db migrate. And before I run that, I got to kill the database. So this is going to like delete all the data and then remigrate and then recreate the data. And then we should be able to restart the server. And our one seed video should have an actual video here. Oh, can't find video with ID 1. Did it not actually run it? Let's see. Oh, I didn't say seed, so db seed. So you can like chain all of these on, kind of like the order that you want them to run. Okay, we've got a test video, click on it. Hey, look at that, it's embedded. So that is super cool. We can see the ID to the video here, that's great. And we have the title and tags and some other stuff. So the next thing we want to do is make it so that we can edit the title, the tags, and the chapter markers. So let's make a view here. We can go to like /edit. And let's make a link on the show page. So before we go too far, let's add a link to edit, and it'll be like edit video path for @video, I think. And let's refresh. And there's an edit link there, and it brings us to the edit view. If we go back, cool. So now let's go implement our super simple form. So the edit view is here. We're gonna say, let's say edit, and then we'll put in the name or the title of the video. It's gonna be super dumb crud, right? Like we don't actually need to have the title update as we're typing with Angular or React or anything. We can just keep it simple, right? Okay, so we're gonna have a form action that's gonna post back to @video, no, let's see, video path for @video. And the method is gonna be post, but we need a hidden input with the name _method, because we want to make this a post request. So the value of this is gonna be put. So by including this hidden input field with _method, this is how Rails knows that we're simulating a put request, because browsers don't actually know how to do put requests. Super weird. They can do post and get, but they can't do put with just like old school forms. So we simulate it, and our web framework knows what we're talking about if we include this hidden thing. It's not common across all web frameworks, but it's fine. Okay. So the other thing is that like this edit form is not actually going to submit the data, or like it's not going to like make the update to the API. We're going to have like a separate thing that updates to the API, right? This is just going to update our internal reference or our internal representation of the video. So what things did we want? Video, I'm going to pull this back up. So we want, we're not going to change the YouTube ID, so we're not going to allow editing that, but we will allow editing the title. So we're going to have a label. Let's actually make it like a div with a label, and we'll say title. And I'm going to put a for title. This for tag is important because it allows you to like click on the word title and give focus to the related input. The way that this matches is by the ID. So I'm actually going to use this pattern where you pass in video title like this to namespace the params that we're passing back to the controller. The ID is going to be title, and the value is going to be @video.title, the existing title, right? Okay, so let's make another div here, and this is going to be for, let's just make it chapter markers, label, label. I thought I had like another shortcut for this. Apparently not. Okay, so this is going to be chapter markers, and okay, input. This is going to be text, or let's make a text area, because working with chapter markers, you kind of want to you want to have multiple lines. So the name here is going to be video chapter markers. The ID is going to be chapter markers. Most videos have about 8 chapter markers, I would say. It kind of depends. And then the content here is going to be @video.chapter_markers. One thing I've run into is if you put new lines around this, when you're building out the form, it adds like space inside of the content of the text area. So just something to look out for. It's kind of an odd thing. All right, this looks like garbage, but it seems like it might work, maybe. We've got a title, we've got chapter markers. What else do we have? We have tags, so div label tags. Tags. So how do we want to do the tags? We probably want some sort of UI like select to. I don't know if that's actually like what the cool kids are doing these days. Why don't we just make it a comma separated list? So we'll just say input is text, and we'll say the name is video tags, and the ID is tags, and the value is @video.tags, .join, comma, let's see, Okay, so tags, and then we can just say like comma separated. And we can deal with that in the controller. We'll just keep it easy, keep it easy. What else do we want? So we've got the title, tags, chapter markers, etc., etc. Okay, we also want to be able to add a presenter and select a description template. So, description template, input is going to be, actually no, it's not going to be an input, it's going to be a select box, right? Select, and the name is going to be video, description template ID. And then we want to auto-populate the options that are available for a description template by iterating over all possible description templates. So we want to do something like at description templates.each do template. Okay, and then we'll create options for each of those. Value is going to be template.id, and the content that you see is going to be the template. Ooh, we need to give a name to our templates. .name. Okay, so Rails G migration add name to description templates name. Okay, add name to description template, and that looks good. Rake, actually let's make it null false, and then we'll go to our seed file and say name test template. Rake db migrate db, actually make, yeah, let's drop the whole database and remigrate and everything. Db create, or okay. So the reason why I want to do that is because we're going to add a nullable, we're adding a non-nullable field to a database which already has null fields in it. Let's see. Oh, I got to kill the server. Okay, we need create, db create. Drop it, create it, migrate it, seed it. It's like that that song. Twist it, pop it. It's like yeah, bop it, the bop it game. All right, so let's see what we got here. Nothing, no servers running. Refresh the page. Okay, let's see. Oh, at description templates is not defined, right? Because I just iterated over a list of things that isn't actually here. So in our videos controller, we need to create an instance variable for the description templates that we're going to support. So for the edit view, we want to say like at description templates is equal to description template.all for now. Refresh the page. So we've got a test template here. Here's the video. Here's the start. Okay, so that's looking cool. We should probably also add some way to add a presenter, right? So we're actually going to need like the whole entire thing for a presenter. So what should we do? Rails G controller presenters. Let's just say new. That allows us to create a new presenter, and then we probably want edit also. Sure. Okay, so presenters controller. We will want def create, def update. Okay, and then our routes here will have resources presenters. Okay, so a new presenter is going to be like at presenter equals presenter.new. Create, or actually, yeah, let's go to the new form. So presenter new. Let's see, add a presenter form. So this is going to be a post request to presenters to create a new presenter, and what do they have? They've got a name. So div label name. Input is going to be text. The name is going to be presenter name. And the ID is going to be name, and the value is going to be at presenter.name. The reason I do that is if for some reason submission fails, we're going to re-render this presenter new form, and we want that to be pre-populated so they don't lose the context. Actually, let's see. So this is going to say like add or like create or something. Okay. So we want to also support adding the Twitter handle. Okay. And LinkedIn. So I used find and replace for the Twitter handle one, but not the name one, because name always bites me because we have a prop also named name. Yeah, let's see. LinkedIn, it's a role / G. Oh. Cool. And this becomes role, and this becomes LinkedIn. All right. So I'm actually thinking that we want to like use this in a partial here. And then what we can do is say if at presenter dot persisted, or like if the presenter is persisted, then we want to set some like action equal to so if they're persisted, they're in the database and we are on the edit view. If we're on the edit view, then we want to send a put request to /presenter/ID of the presenter. So presenter path at presenter. Otherwise, we want it to just go to the presenter's path. Okay, so that's going to be our form action. That's like where we're sending the post request to. Sorry if that's not super clear. And then inside of the form, if it's a put request, we need to make sure that we add that hidden input I talked about earlier. So if presenter.persisted, then we're going to put the hidden input. And its name again is method, and its value is put. Only if it's persisted though, right? Like if it's new, we don't want to put request, we want a post request. Because post creates and put updates, sorta. Depends on who you talk to. And then here we're going to say like render form, I think. I haven't worked with partials in a super long time, so let's see. Okay, so if we go to like, let's see, presenter/new, then something exploded. Encountered a syntax error while rendering the template. Action equals at presenter.persisted. Then, oh, you know what? I need 2 question marks here. This has tripped me up before. So that is, we're using a ternary. Okay, so we got a name, Twitter handle, LinkedIn, role. So if we just like typed stuff in and click create, nothing's going to happen because our post endpoint, or like we're sending post requests to presenters, but like not getting any data back right now, right? Because our presenter's controller doesn't do anything. So in create, we want to say, we want to create a new presenter object at presenter equals presenter.new. We're going to pass in presenter params. This is like really conventional private. So this is for like when working with strong parameters. You don't want to allow your front end to pass in just like whatever they want. So you want to sanitize or restrict what you're passing down into active records so that users can't mess with your database and such as easily. So we're going to say params.require presenter, And so when I say require presenter, this is talking about like this key here. So we're gonna be passing these in form encoded or like whatever application XXX form URL encoded data. And so when we say params.require presenter, we're saying that like first of all, only look at the params who start with this presenter thing and then key into them with name, Twitter handle, LinkedIn, and role. So then we can say require presenter and then permit these like name, Twitter handle, LinkedIn, and role. So that'll only allow those 4. So that's good. So here we're using new instead of create. That will build an instance, but it will not actually persist it to the database. And the pattern that we use in the controller is first we new up an instance, and then we say if presenter.save, which when you don't pass a bang, this will return true or false, whether or not it was able to persist. If it was not able to persist, if for some reason it failed persisting, then this special like errors object on the presenter will be populated with some data. So we're going to say flash.nowErrors is equal to @presenter.errors.full_messages, and then we're going to render new. So in every controller action, you must either render or redirect, and you can only do one. So if we were able to save the presenter, then let's, what do we want to do? Like you might go to the presenters show page or the list of presenters, or I don't actually know. Let's just say render JSON of the presenter, because I'm not quite sure. We don't really have an index. Yeah, sure. Let's redirect to an index. Redirect to presenters path. Okay, and then we need an index here. @presenters is presenter.all. So presenter show, or this thing needs a index.html.erb, and it's actually going to be like basically the same thing as the video index, but instead of videos, it's going to be presenters, video presenters /g. Okay. And then we're gonna like, yeah, link to sure. All right, so test create was a post request. Cool, we got back here. We see our presenters, Tony Stark, Steve, and test. We can actually just like make this a little bit nicer. Instead of linking to, we'll just print out their name and we'll print out their Twitter handle. And their, what is it, linked in, and their role. Oh, you know what? Shoot. Okay, whatever. The role is the role, their like job title, but not their role in the video. Okay, so this is fine. This is cool. And then let's just add an edit link. Link to edit, and that's going to go to edit presenter path @presenter. When you pass in the instance variable like that, it's actually trying to find what parameter is used for the path. And in most cases, the default is just to pull the ID off the instance variable. But if you change that in the future and you wanted to use some other thing, then you could do that. So here I passed in an instance variable, but we're looping over, so we have a local variable, not an instance variable. All right, so if we wanted to edit test, we could come here and edit. Let's go to our presenter edit form, which now we should just be able to like say edit and then @presenter.name, and then just like render form, and that should just kind of work, I think. Maybe no, for nil class. Presenters controller. We haven't implemented anything. @presenter equals presenter.find params ID. And then update is going to be similar to create, but instead of calling save, we'll call update. If @presenter.update with presenter params, So sometimes you want like different params for update and create. In this case, we want to be able to update everything, so it's fine. So if it's successful, we'll redirect to presenters path. Otherwise, we're going to say flash.now is errors at presenter.errors.full messages. And then render edit. We'll render the edit back. Okay, so all right, so here's our edit form. If we went back, or let's go to /presenters. So these ones are pretty more full featured, right? Steve, his Twitter handle is Steve. He's a Minecrafter. Maybe he changes his name to an illager. Oh, and then we want to change the button on the form, presenter form. So if it's persisted, then we want it to be one thing. If it's not persisted, we want it to be another thing. So if it's persisted, it should be update. Okay. Also, this is like pretty darn close to what if you use Rails-G scaffold, like what happens. But by building it out yourself, you can kind of think a little bit more carefully about how this stuff is coming out. So yeah, that worked. Now we have illager. We've got this edit button. It totally updates. Stevie, and let's say Stevie. Change his name to Stevie everywhere. Stevie. Okay, update. Also, again, this like totally looks like garbage, but we'll go back and style it later. Okay, so we've got our presenters. The whole reason why we wanted to do our presenters was so that we could edit our video here. And when we edit the video, we could add presenters to our video. So let's do that now. Okay, so this is great because I feel like we're running into a bunch of interesting stuff like dealing with tags and presenters and kind of like related objects. So let's update our edit test video form so that it supports passing in, or like supports passing which presenters were in the video. So video form, videos, edit. Okay. And maybe down here we'll have a div. And we probably want, how does this work? Okay. We are going to want a list of video presenter IDs. So we're going to pass in like video, or like presenter IDs. And then we want to pass like this and this. So we want to have like several of these, which, so there's a couple ways we could do this. If we had tons and tons of presenters, then we would probably want to make this so that you can like search for the presenter and select them. You might also want a way to say like just @mention the presenter or something. Like you could build a really interesting UI. For the videos that I'm making, it's like me, it's one or two of my kids and maybe some guests and maybe like a couple other folks. So the list of presenters is not going to be that long. So the way that I'm actually going to solve this for now is going to be a checkbox list. And my reason is that I don't expect my list of presenters to grow beyond like a dozen. If you have more than that, then you probably want a different interface for this, but this will both keep it super simple and yeah, it'll keep it easy. So we'll have let's see. How does a checkbox list work? Well, we want to have an input type checkbox, and the name is going to be video presenter IDs. And the reason it has this extra little thing at the end is because we're going to pass in an array, and the array is going to be populated with all the values that we are passing in. In this case, what I want to do is pass in, or I want to like iterate over all of the presenters and then create checkboxes for each of the presenters and also labels for each of the presenters. So we want to label here, and this is going to be like the presenter.name, right? And then this is going to be presenter.id, and then we actually need like the list of presenters. So I'm going to say at presenters.each do presenter. So we're going to loop over all the presenters, and for each presenter, we're going to generate these two HTML elements. Now, in order to get the for working, we need to target this unique ID. So to create a unique ID here, what I might do is just say like presenter dash, and then put in their ID, presenter.id, just so that it's unique. And then I want to use the same exact thing in my for prop on the label. So if we come back over here, at presenters isn't defined. So videos controller in the edit action, I also need at presenters is presenter.all. Okay, so now we see Tony Stark, Test, and Stevie. What's cool is that the if we inspect this, right, we see that it has now presenter dash and the ID, presenter dash and the ID. So if we check these boxes and then say update video, well, right now we don't have an update method, but this would send a put request, and it would pass, if these two are checked, if these two values are checked, then it would pass the values, just the values that are checked, right? So in this case, it would pass test, which is 3, and it would pass 2 for Stevie. But it would not pass 1 because Tony Stark is not checked. So that, we'll look at that a little bit more in a second, but first we need to add an update controller action. Similar to the presenter controller action, we're going to say like at video is video.find params ID. And we're going to say if at video.update video params, then redirect to at video. We can just say at video if we're going to the show page, which is pretty handy. Else, and so flash.now errors at video dot errors dot full messages. So we haven't actually added any active record validations either, which we can do in a moment. Okay, render edit def, or let's say private. Let's say def video params. So params.require video dot permit, and then we want the whole list of things that we're going to be passing in from the front end, which I think we're getting pretty close to this stuff. So title, tags, chapter markers. So tags, because the name of the column is the same, but I didn't make it an array, we're going to have to mess around with that a little bit. And I have some ideas, like maybe we can update the setter method on the video object to like split on array or something fancy. I don't know. We'll have to get into it. Chapter markers, the description template ID, and the presenter IDs. So for presenter IDs, recall that we're passing in an array. And so in that case, you actually have to you have to specify it like this. Where you say presenter IDs is the symbol pointing at empty array, that tells strong parameters that we expect it to be an array that's coming in. So anything else that we got on the client? I don't know. Let's just refresh and see what happens. Edit and okay. So if we check these two, okay. So those were not checked, but I bet if we look in the database, let's see here. So in the logs, we see this come in as presenter IDs 3 and 2, and unpermitted parameters, description ID, title, chapter markers, presenter IDs. Huh. Why? That's interesting. Oh, that was probably the first one, maybe? Get videos. I don't know. Let's Rails C. And we're looking at video 1, so video.find 1 dot presenters. Okay, so yeah, it found the presenters dot pluck ID 1 and 2. Oh, that's wrong. That's wrong. Okay, so all right. So what's up here? What's up here? Video presenter IDs. Video edit form. So before we go too far, let's add the checked. So we want to print out the property checked if at video.presenter IDs include the presenter.id. So we want to print that out so that it will actually render that property if it's checked. Okay, so it is checked for 1 and 2. So if we uncheck Tony Stark and we say update, and then we say edit, okay, only Stevie is checked. If we check test and say update, and then click edit, okay, so test and Stevie. So there's one other thing that we have to do, and that is handle when all are unchecked, because I don't think that's handled yet, right? So if we uncheck all of them and say update, it's not actually unchecking them, and that is because when you update and you pass nothing, we need to be explicit about passing no IDs, right? So we can do that by adding a hidden input that has the same, doesn't have to be inside the list. The type is hidden, the name is the same, and then the value is going to be just false, I think. Let's see, maybe false or F maybe. And we don't need this thing because we don't need it to be checked ever. All right, so if we uncheck both and then click update, oops, let's see, record not found, parameter with ID. Okay, so how to remove checkbox, or like how to clear checkboxes with Rails. Yeah, so there's like some fancy, it's not fancy, but let's see. I thought it was passing an empty. Okay. What? That's interesting. Okay, whatever. That's fine. So it's implemented, in that case, it's implemented in the controller. So videos controller, down here they say like params video presenter IDs or equals empty array, so that if nothing was passed, then it will have something set for you. And we need to go back and we need to refresh the page, uncheck these, click update, and then if we click edit again, nothing should be checked. Cool. So that totally works. And I'm a little surprised, but it is what it is. Okay. So that totally works. We're able to update our videos. All right, in the next section, what I want to do is build out the description template. So we will do that next.